Communism in Africa and Oceania. So first we're going to tackle how communism grew in both Africa and Oceania. So at first there is no single state in Africa that is communist in the sense that the East Germany or North Vietnam are communist states. Kahit na yung Russia, yung China, they have no satellites in Africa as they have in Europe and Asia. But as time goes by, communists are already inroads into Africa. In developing communists, they build a stooge states in Africa. It is defined as one in which policies are followed that actively promote the cause of international communism. So, in developing this promotion is to be found into two avenues. The first one, the pursuance of internal policies that have led to the totalitarian rule and intense socialism to the extent that the climate has been created that could lead to establishment of a communist state unless there is a dramatic check on current direction. So the second one, the pursuance of policies that are preparing the soil for communism and are exploding the seeds of communism to the south of African countries elsewhere to the continent. So in building communist stooge states, there are 9 countries begin in 1967. So this is the list. So this stooge stage become an asset in ideological and propaganda warfare that is commonly termed the Cold War. So in communist inroads to Africa, they say that the success of internal communism in gaining a stooge stage in Africa by the beginning of 1967 is more spectacular if two factors are borne in mind. So this is the first factor, where is the 1921, 1956, and 1950 the history of communism, and the second factor is they say that the contrast to the communism is revolution in Europe. So nationalism has been powerful political force in revolutions in Africa, but suddenly, according to Mann and Williams, the development of stooge states within the space of 10 years certainly does not bear out. So the communists in North Africa, the northwest corner of Africa, known to the Arabs as the Maghreb, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. So they always believe that nationalism is rival to communism because of European administration. The next is the West Africa. In French West Africa, there is no communist party despite of the obvious Soviet interest in the area and the absence of any legal prohibition of the party, since the leader of the only significant native movement, the Rassemblement Democratic Africain, are in the close contact with the Communist Party in Paris. So their non-existence of an overt communist organization probably reflects, excuse me, a deliberate part tactic. So there is no conscious infiltration of the local labor unions and working RDA. That's why communists are facing difficult problem in utilizing the large but relatively backward membership. So next is the British West Africa. So they say that there is no overt communist parties. Next is the Liberia, the Portuguese and Spanish Guinea. So they are the same, which they said that communist party doesn't exist. While in the communist in South Africa, the Union of South Africa, um, it is they say that it is the only area in British Africa having an avowed city and serving as a base for communist agents and propaganda. It is still the British African and having Soviet consulates. There is little controlled communist activities in any territory outside the Union. The party is probably retraining as much as possible of its pre-dissolution influence. Where in communists in Central and East Africa, which is the Madagascar and Reunion, especially, they said in reunion, they have achieved varying influence by working through the labor movement and by supporting elements of the population, wishing to complete autonomy and separation from France. So these are some pictures of Madagascar reunion, British East Africa, the Belgian Congo. Next is in British East Africa, it's British Central Africa and Belgian Congo. They say that communist party are not yet developed. They say there is no amount of communist activity or no legal political parties. So last is the French Equatorial Africa, which is the FEA, or they call it French Cameroons and Togoland. The most influential pro-communist force is the well-organized RDA, which has branches in all four territories of FEA. So in the Cameroons and in the Tagaland as well as when Councillor is the Assembly of the French Union. French-directed communism has made slight progress in the governments themselves, so where some minor officials are known to have communist tendencies. So that's why while in Angola and Mozambique, communist activity there is not important because Portuguese administration are not tolerated it that even nationalist nor labor movements of any strength have developed. So when we're going to communists in Northeast Africa, which is the Somalia or formerly Italian Somaliland, there is no organized communist party. While also in British Somaliland, it is believed that is not yet developed. So in next is French Somaliland. They claim that they have no knowledge about Communist Party. And while in Eritrea there was a small Eritrean Communist Party that exists from 1944 to February 1949, but it's gone. It's composed principally of Italian, however, it